I went to a very small school that had a very particular way of teaching the students. It was created by a revolutionary generation of teachers and artists of all kinds who brought this new method of teaching that was based on games and different techniques that allowed students to express themselves freely and to create their own ideas and opinions. There was never some sort of stereotype that dictated how to act, dress, or think. We were never afraid to express our thoughts, and we all had our little weird particularities and contrasts about ourselves. Another singular thing about the school was the number of students. Every classroom often had only around 8 or 15 students in each class. We didn't always get along. I had some very annoying classmates, and even though we would fight from time to time, it was a much more colorful atmosphere. I recall those years of sharing so many fun memories with unconventional people as the highlights of my childhood and my life. But inevitably, at one point you get to that state of daze and confusion when you start questioning everything and, more importantly, yourself. That happened to me when I finished the ninth grade and moved to another school. I didn't know what it was about this traditional school I had just moved to. Or maybe I do. But it was a far more narrow world than I've ever expected. That first year of my moving to this different environment, I very much felt like I was an alien among a large number of normal kids that I had to see every day and interact with. They were all pretty much the same. They would do exactly what the kids that were a year older than us did 1 year ago, would be into the same kind of stuff, and they would hang out in the same places. Sometimes it was like being trapped in a large room full of the same person multiplied by 32 when the only variation was their faces and the fact that some of them were louder than others. Despite the fact that a couple of months after I moved to that school, I started to notice how opposed I was in comparison to them. I felt so alone and lost in a strange world that I could not understand or be a part of. And don't get me wrong, I did make some friends. They were all not robots, but when I was caught up in some sort of social situation with the rest of my classmates, I really didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to act or how to be more like them. It always felt to me as if there was a way of interacting with them that I didn't know about. And if I ever said something wrong, I would get this outrageous look, like I was the stupidest person that ever existed. I realized towards the end of school, after so many attempts of changing my whole entire personality and interests, and going to boring school parties that would only make me feel more uncomfortable and awkward about myself, that I would probably never be able to fit in. And at the same time, I was getting tired of following a bunch of people in search for some sort of approval from them. I didn't really care at this point, and I wanted to stop lying to myself and thinking it. Every time I began reminiscing about my days in primary and middle school, I recognized that I was very lucky. I happened to have grown up in a place where I learned about the importance of staying true to oneself and appreciating the things that makes you different. I finally learned something very important that I had known all along but was too afraid to accept. You don't really have to change yourself in order to fit in. Because the truth is that people that don't fit in with the rest are the ones that make the biggest contributions and are valued for their uniqueness and extraordinary ways of being.